Have you ever felt like life's constant challenges are just too overwhelming? Well, you're not alone. Picture this. Even Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, faced a roller coaster of trials, from political turmoil to personal grief. Now here's the twist. He managed these challenges using Stoicism, a philosophy that's as relevant today as it was 2,000 years ago. In today's video, we're not just talking history. We're exploring 10 incredible habits inspired by Marcus Aurelius himself. These aren't just ancient secrets. They are practical tools for our everyday struggles. Imagine turning your biggest challenges into your greatest strengths. Sounds empowering, right? We're diving deep into how Marcus Aurelius used Stoicism to navigate life's ups and downs, and how you can do the same. From embracing challenges to practicing gratitude, each habit we're about to uncover is a step towards a more resilient, composed, and fulfilling life. So, if you're ready to transform the way you handle life's curveballs, stay tuned. These 10 habits are not just about surviving, they're about thriving, just like one of the greatest emperors of Rome. Let's embark on this journey together and discover how to live like Marcus Aurelius in the modern world. All right, let's jump right into habit 1, embracing challenges. Now, I know what you're thinking. Embrace challenges. I was hoping they'd just disappear if I ignored them long enough. Unfortunately, life doesn't work like a bad internet connection where you can just unplug it and hope it fixes itself when you plug it back in. Marcus Aurelius, our Stoic superstar, had a different take on challenges. He saw them as opportunities to grow, not just inconvenient obstacles on his path to binge-watching his favorite chariot races. Stoicism teaches us that life's difficulties are not there to torment us, even though it feels like it sometimes, but to help us develop resilience, patience, and wisdom. Imagine if Marcus had a Twitter account. His feed would be filled with tweets like, "Just faced a massive barbarian invasion today. Growth mindset. Thanks, universe." It's this stoic attitude towards adversity that we can all learn from. Instead of seeing challenges as roadblocks, we can view them as stepping stones. Each one is a chance to practice being the calm in the storm, the person who can look chaos in the eye and say, "Is that all you've got?" But how do we apply this ancient wisdom in our lives? Start small. Next time you're faced with a challenge, take a deep breath and remind yourself that this is an opportunity to grow. Instead of reacting with frustration or fear, ask yourself, what can this teach me? It's about shifting your perspective from, why is this happening to me, to how is this happening for me? It won't be easy, and yes, there will be days when you'd rather throw in the towel and declare the universe the winner. But remember, even Marcus Aurelius didn't get to be a Stoic master overnight. It took practice, patience, and probably a lot of inner pep talks. Moving on to habit 2, practice gratitude. Now you might think, gratitude? With everything going on in the world, you've got to be joking. But stick with me here. Imagine Marcus Aurelius, in the midst of running the Roman Empire, taking a moment to jot down, "Today I'm grateful for the aqueducts not breaking down." Sounds a bit out there, but this Stoic habit of focusing on what we have rather than what we lack is a game changer. Gratitude in Stoicism isn't about pretending everything's perfect. It's about acknowledging the good amidst the chaos. It's like when you find that last piece of pizza you forgot about in the fridge. Suddenly, the universe doesn't seem so against you after all. Marcus Aurelius, despite his emperor status, faced his fair share of issues, from plagues to political betrayals, yet he constantly reminded himself of the good in his life, the things within his control, and the values he held dear. So, How do we follow in the footsteps of a Roman emperor without the togas and sandals? It's simple. Start your day with a gratitude list. It could be as basic as being thankful for your morning coffee, or as profound as appreciating the support of your friends and family. This practice shifts your focus from what's going wrong to what's going right. Picture this. You're having one of those days where everything seems to go wrong. You spill your coffee, miss the bus, and forget your phone at home. But then you remember your gratitude list. You think, well, at least I have coffee to spill, a bus to miss, and a phone to forget. It sounds a bit silly, but this shift in perspective can be the difference between a day ruined and a day with a slightly rocky start. Incorporating gratitude into your life doesn't mean ignoring the negatives. Instead, it's about balancing the scales, giving equal weight to our blessings and our challenges. It's about finding that silver lining, even if it's a bit tarnished. And hey, if Marcus Aurelius could find things to be grateful for while dealing with ancient Rome's version of a soap opera, we can certainly find a few things in our daily lives. So give it a try. Start small and watch how this ancient Stoic practice can bring a bit of sunshine into even the cloudiest of days. Diving into Habit 3, reflect daily. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, reflect? I don't have time to stare into a pond all day. Hear me out. Reflection, in the Stoic sense, isn't about gazing at your reflection and admiring your new haircut. It's about taking a moment to pause, look inward, and evaluate your day. Imagine Marcus Aurelius, after a long day of emperor duties, sitting down with his journal, not to pen the next great Roman epic, but to simply ask himself, how did I do today? This habit is like doing a daily software update for your mind. You're checking for bugs in your behavior, glitches in your reactions, and seeing if your moral compass needs recalibrating. It's acknowledging that, just maybe, cutting off that chariot in traffic wasn't the most virtuous move. So how do we make daily reflection a habit without it feeling like another to-do list item? Start with something I like to call the 3-question check-in. At the end of your day, ask yourself, what did I do well today? What could I have done better? What did I learn? It's not about beating yourself up for mistakes or missed opportunities. Instead, it's about recognizing that every day is a chance to learn and grow. Imagine you're Marcus, but instead of running an empire, you're navigating the modern world. Maybe you lost your temper in a meeting or spent too much time scrolling through social media. Reflecting on these moments can help you understand why they happened and how you can handle them better next time. It's about finding your own inner Marcus Aurelius, guiding you to be the best version of yourself. Incorporating daily reflection into your life can be surprisingly fun. You can journal, meditate, or even talk it out with a friend or a rubber duck, whatever floats your boat. The key is making it a consistent part of your routine. Think of it as mental hygiene, just as important as brushing your teeth, but hopefully less minty. And here's the kicker. Reflection doesn't just help you grow, it makes you happier. By acknowledging your progress and learning from your missteps, you're building a more authentic, fulfilled life. So, give it a shot. Let's talk about Habit 4, control your reactions. Now, if you're thinking, control my reactions, but I love dramatically overreacting to minor inconveniences, then you, my friend, are in for a treat. This habit is all about the Stoic principle of understanding what's in our control and what's not. Basically, Marcus Aurelius and his Stoic buddies would say, you can't control the traffic, but you can control not turning into a rage monster over it. Think of it this way. Life is full of surprises, like finding out your favorite series has been cancelled, right after a cliffhanger season finale. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't control these plot twists, we can control our own season finales, our reactions. So, how do we start? First, recognize the moment you're about to react. It's that split second before your emotions decide to throw a party and forget to invite your rational thinking. In that moment, take a deep breath. Yes, it sounds cliché, but imagine it's like hitting the pause button on your favorite streaming service. It gives you a moment to decide how you want to proceed with the episode of life you're currently starring in. Next, ask yourself, is my reaction within my control? Can I choose a different response that might lead to a better outcome? This is where you channel your inner Marcus Aurelius, calmly considering your options rather than impulsively choosing the first one that comes to mind, like sending a passive-aggressive email or honking your horn in traffic. Now, implementing this habit doesn't mean you become emotionless or suppress what you feel. Stoicism isn't about being a robot. It's about being the director of your own emotional movie. You acknowledge the feeling, understand its origin, and then, with all the wisdom of a Stoic philosopher, decide if acting on it aligns with your values and goals. Let's be real, changing how we react to things isn't easy, especially if you've spent years perfecting your surprised Pikachu face for every minor inconvenience. But, like any skill, it gets easier with practice. Start small. Maybe next time when someone cuts in line, instead of imagining a dramatic confrontation, take a breath and let it go. It's not about winning every battle, it's about choosing which battles are worth fighting. Remember, controlling your reactions is a superpower in a world that often feels like it's trying to push your buttons. By practicing this habit, you're not just avoiding unnecessary stress, you're also cultivating peace and resilience. All right, folks, let's dive into habit 5, seek wisdom continuously. Now you might be thinking, seek wisdom? I can barely find my keys most days. But stick with me. This habit is about embracing the endless journey of learning, much like scrolling through your favorite streaming service, but for your brain. Marcus Aurelius, despite being the emperor of Rome and probably having a to-do list longer than a CVS receipt, made time to learn and reflect on wisdom every day. Seeking wisdom continuously doesn't mean you have to lock yourself away with a pile of dusty old books and emerge decades later, beard down to your knees, speaking in riddles. It's about cultivating curiosity and a love for learning in your everyday life. Imagine Marcus, in between emperor duties, picking up a scroll and thinking, what can I learn from this? It's that zest for knowledge, that hunger to understand more about the world and our place in it, that defines this habit. So, how do we incorporate this into our modern lives? It's simpler than you might think. Start with your interests. Love cooking? Explore the science behind your favorite recipes. Fascinated by the stars? Dive into astronomy. The point is to turn your natural curiosity into a quest for knowledge. And with the internet, we have the entire sum of human knowledge at our fingertips. Marcus would be jealous. But here's the kicker. Seeking wisdom is also about reflection and applying what you learn. It's one thing to know the theory behind staying calm in a crisis. It's another to apply it when you're in the midst of a work meltdown or family drama. This is where the Stoic practice of journaling can come in handy. At the end of the day, jot down what you learned and how you applied it, or how you might in the future. It's like giving your brain a workout and then writing down your progress. Now, let's not forget the humor in seeking wisdom. Imagine Marcus Aurelius trying to learn to dance or cook a meal without his royal chefs. The journey to wisdom isn't just about solemn reflection. It's about enjoying the learning process, mistakes and all. So, laugh at yourself when you fumble, share your newfound knowledge with friends, even if they didn't ask for it, and remember, every expert was once a beginner. In the end, seeking wisdom continuously isn't just about piling up facts or mastering new skills. It's about fostering a mindset that sees every experience as an opportunity to learn and grow. Whether you're reading a book, watching a documentary, or simply observing the world around you, every moment is a chance to expand your understanding and live a richer, more informed life. So, embrace your inner Marcus Aurelius. Be curious, be humble, and let the world be your classroom. Who knows what fascinating lessons await you around the next corner? All right, let's dive into habit 6, serve others. Now, you might be thinking, serve others? I can barely serve myself a decent breakfast on a busy morning. But bear with me. Marcus Aurelius, despite being the Roman emperor and arguably one of the busiest men of his time, placed a huge emphasis on service. He wasn't just about conquering lands, he was about conquering hearts in a way. Stoicism teaches us the importance of contributing to the community and looking beyond our own immediate desires and needs. It's like being a superhero, but instead of wearing a cape, you're armed with kindness and a willingness to help. Serving others doesn't mean you need to start a grand initiative or save the world single-handedly. It's about the small acts of kindness that add up. Imagine Marcus Aurelius holding the door open for someone or giving up his seat on the chariot. Okay, chariots didn't have seats to give up, but you get the picture. It's about seeing opportunities in your everyday life to make someone else's day a little brighter. So how do we incorporate serving others into our daily lives without adding to our already packed to-do lists? Start simple. It could be as easy as smiling at a stranger, offering to help a colleague with a project, or calling a friend who's going through a tough time. These actions might seem small, but they're the equivalent of dropping a pebble in a pond. The ripples spread far and wide. Serving others also means being present and listening. In a world where everyone is constantly distracted by their devices, giving someone your full attention is a rare gift. Imagine Marcus Aurelius, instead of scrolling through his Roman Facebook feed, sitting down and genuinely listening to someone share their story. Be that person who listens, not just hears, and watch how it transforms your interactions. But let's add a sprinkle of humor to it. Serving others doesn't have to be all solemn and serious. Bring your unique sense of humor into it. Picture Marcus Aurelius cracking a joke to lighten the mood during a tense Senate meeting. Whether it's making someone laugh when they're feeling down or bringing a fun perspective to a volunteer project, your joy and laughter can be as much of a service as your actions. And remember, serving others is also about recognizing when someone is serving you and showing appreciation. So, next time someone goes out of their way for you, don't just thank them. Show them that their act of kindness has made a difference. It could be as simple as a heartfelt note or a public shout-out. It reinforces the cycle of kindness and encourages more positive interactions. On to habit 7. Live in the present. Now, before you say, live in the present, but I've already planned my worry schedule for the next week. Let's take a page out of Marcus Aurelius's diary. Imagine being an emperor with an empire to run, battles to oversee, and a stoic philosophy to embody. Marcus could have easily been overwhelmed by the future or dwelled on past mistakes. Yet he chose to anchor himself in the present, understanding that the here and now is all we truly have. Living in the present doesn't mean you forget about your future goals or ignore lessons from the past. It's not an excuse to live recklessly or abandon planning. Instead, it's about fully immersing yourself in the current moment, whether you're enjoying a cup of coffee, having a conversation, or even tackling your inbox. Think of it as giving your full attention to the current scene in your life's movie, rather than fast-forwarding or rewinding constantly. So, how do we practice living in the present in a world where our phones beep more than a microwave? First off, try the ancient Stoic practice of mindfulness. No, Marcus Aurelius didn't meditate with a mindfulness app, but he was mindful. When you're eating, really taste your food. When you're walking, feel the ground beneath your feet. It's about turning off autopilot mode and truly experiencing life as it happens. Here's a little Stoic exercise for you. Next time you find yourself worrying about the future or ruminating on the past, ask yourself, is there anything I can do about it right now? If the answer is no, then give yourself permission to return to the present moment. It's like telling your worries, "Thank you next," in true Stoic fashion. But let's be real, staying present isn't always easy, especially when you're in a meeting that feels longer than a Roman Empire. That's where the humor comes in. Imagine Marcus Aurelius sitting through a Senate meeting, doodling Stoic quotes on his parchment to stay present. Find little ways to make the present moment more enjoyable, even if it's just by appreciating the absurdity of life sometimes. Living in the present also means appreciating the people and experiences in your life right now. It's about valuing the conversation with a friend without glancing at your phone every 5 seconds, or enjoying the peace of a quiet morning before the day's chaos begins. Marcus Aurelius knew that the present moment was his empire to rule, no matter the external circumstances. All right, let's tackle habit 8. Practice self-discipline. Before you groan and say, "Self-discipline, but my self-control goes out the window the second I see a donut," hear me out. Marcus Aurelius, our Stoic mentor, wasn't born with an iron will. He worked on it, just like he worked on his beard game. Self-discipline, in the Stoic sense, isn't about denying yourself all life's pleasures. It's about choosing what's truly important and aligning your actions with your values. Imagine being the most powerful man in Rome and still choosing to live a life of moderation and focus. Marcus didn't binge-watch gladiator games or indulge in feasts fit for, well, an emperor. Instead, he chose to exercise restraint, focus on his duties, and cultivate virtues. It's like he had an internal compass that always pointed to do the right thing, even when the wrong thing was much more tempting. So, how do we boost our self-discipline without moving to a Stoic boot camp? Start with small commitments to yourself. It could be as simple as waking up 10 minutes earlier to meditate, read, or just enjoy a quiet cup of coffee before the day's madness. Or decide to tackle that one task you've been avoiding each day before you reward yourself with your favorite show or a social media dive. Self-discipline also means learning to say no. To others, sure, but especially to ourselves. It's like having a friendly but firm chat with your inner child who wants candy for dinner. Listen, I know you want to binge-watch cat videos, but we've got goals, buddy. It's about setting boundaries for your time and energy, ensuring that what you're doing aligns with what you truly value. But let's not forget the humor in it all. Practicing self-discipline can lead to some hilarious situations. Picture Marcus Aurelius trying to resist the urge to buy yet another scroll for his collection, muttering Stoic quotes under his breath as he walks away from the scroll seller. Embrace the absurdity and laugh at yourself when you slip up. After all, self-discipline isn't about perfection. It's about progress. One fun way to build this habit is to gamify your self-discipline. Set up rewards for sticking to your commitments, like a night out with friends after a week of hitting your exercise goals, or create a little competition with yourself or a buddy who can stick to their planned tasks without getting sidetracked by the latest drama in the Roman Senate or, your group chat. In the end, practicing self-discipline is about empowering yourself to live according to your principles. It's about making choices today that your future self will thank you for. And remember, every time you exercise self-discipline, you're not just building a habit. You're building the kind of character Marcus Aurelius would nod approvingly at. Let's wade into habit 9. Embrace simplicity. You might be thinking, simplicity? In this age of smartphones, smart homes, and smart refrigerators that tell you when you're out of milk, you've got to be kidding. But stick with me here. Marcus Aurelius, despite being the emperor of the most powerful empire on earth, championed the Stoic virtue of living simply. He wasn't decking out the palace with the latest Roman fads or flaunting his status with extravagant togas. Instead, he focused on what truly mattered: wisdom, virtue, and serving the common good. Embracing simplicity isn't about selling all your possessions and moving into a tiny house, though if that's your thing, more power to you. It's about decluttering your life from the excess that distracts us from our true values and goals. Imagine Marcus Aurelius today, scrolling through his phone, not to check the Roman Reddit, but to delete apps he hasn't used in months. It's that kind of simplicity we're aiming for. So how do we start practicing this habit without going full Spartan? Begin by looking at the physical clutter in your life. That closet full of clothes you never wear, those gadgets from 2010 collecting dust. Consider giving them a new home where they'll be appreciated. Each item you let go of is like shedding a little weight off your shoulders, making room for what truly enriches your life. But simplicity goes beyond just physical stuff. It's also about simplifying your commitments. Are you stretched thinner than a Roman road spanning continents? It's time to get selective about where you invest your time and energy. Just like Marcus Aurelius would delegate duties to his trusted advisors, delegate or say no to tasks that don't align with your priorities. It's about making your yes meaningful and your no respectful but firm. Embracing simplicity also means finding joy in the small, everyday moments. Marcus Aurelius found solace in his Stoic readings and reflections, not in lavish parties or exotic foods. In our modern world, it might mean savoring a quiet morning coffee without the urge to check your phone every 5 seconds, or enjoying a walk without the need to capture it for social media. It's about being fully present and finding contentment in the here and now. And now we arrive at habit 10, cultivate resilience. If you're thinking, resilience? You mean like when my coffee shop runs out of oat milk and I don't cry in public? Well, you're on the right track, but let's take it up a notch. Marcus Aurelius, our Stoic guide through life's tumultuous seas, was the epitome of resilience. Imagine leading a vast empire, dealing with betrayals, plagues, and invasions, and still finding the strength to say, "Bring it on, universe! I've got this." That's the level of resilience we're talking about. Cultivating resilience isn't about becoming emotionally bulletproof or suppressing your feelings. It's about acknowledging life's challenges, feeling what you need to feel, and then finding a way to bounce back, even if you have to limp a little at first. It's Marcus Aurelius writing his meditations, not as a victor's boast, but as a reminder to himself that even emperors struggle, and that's okay. So, how do we build this fortress of resilience without resorting to building an actual fortress and hiding from the world? Start by shifting your perspective. When faced with a setback, instead of asking, "Why me?" try asking, "What can I learn from this?" It's about seeing obstacles as opportunities for growth, not as stop signs. Marcus Aurelius didn't see adversity as a personal attack from the gods, but as a chance to practice being the best version of himself. Next, strengthen your support network. Resilience doesn't mean going it alone. Even Marcus had his Stoic buddies and advisors. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who can be your sounding board, and who remind you that it's okay to be a work in progress. And remember, offering support is just as important as receiving it. After all, resilience is contagious. Embrace self-care as a resilience-building tool. Marcus Aurelius knew the importance of caring for his mind and body, not as a luxury but as a necessity. For us, it might mean setting boundaries, enjoying a hobby, or simply getting enough sleep. Remember, you can't draw water from an empty well. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's essential for bouncing back stronger. And there you have it, my friends, a journey through the timeless wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and the art of cultivating a life well lived through Stoic habits. Remember, embracing these habits isn't about striving for perfection. It's about progress, about becoming more resilient, more mindful, and more connected to the world around us. It's about finding strength in adversity, joy in simplicity, and wisdom in every moment. As we part ways today, I want to leave you with this thought. Within you lies the power to face life's storms with grace, to turn obstacles into opportunities, and to weave a tapestry of experiences rich with growth and purpose. You have the capacity to be your own hero, guided by the light of Stoic wisdom and the strength of your own spirit. If you found inspiration in our journey through Marcus Aurelius's habits, I invite you to dive deeper into the world of Stoicism and personal growth by watching one of the playlists on the screen. Let's continue to explore together, to challenge ourselves, and to support one another on this path to a more fulfilling life. Thank you for being here, for sharing in this journey of discovery. Remember, the most important steps we take are the ones that lead us inward, to the heart of who we truly are. Until next time, keep seeking, keep growing, and let the wisdom of the Stoics light your way.